Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Black Sheep Chronicles with Nada Melissa here. On today's episode, I invite my beautiful and amazing friend Trina, and we pretty much go over just the lessons we've learned in the dating life and boundaries and just attracting better things in our lives. And I regretfully forgot to ask her to introduce herself, so we pretty much just jumped right into the episode. But if you found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, don't be shy. Share us. I'm going to go ahead and add all of her links to how you can find her on TikTok, YouTube, or Spotify. So by all means, go ahead and click and show some support. But other than that, just, enjoy. And here you go. I just feel like because of how much the dating is seen is so popular, I feel like maybe we can get into that just because we were experienced women. Girl. And although like we've always been pro sex, like there's nothing wrong with sex, it's great, especially when you do it with the right people. But what I've experienced is because I'm looking for something genuine and something different, and I really want to make this like awesome connection with my person, I realize how much sex can interfere with that. You know what I mean? Yep. And so, just recently, and I've shared this with you already, like just recently, just going on a date and letting this motherfucker know, like, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that right now. I really want to find genuine connection. You would have thought that he would have been like, oh, all right, no problem. Let's have good conversation. And that wasn't the case. And so, even though at the end of the day, we are grown-ass women and we do what we want and it is our responsibility to know what we're doing and stuff like that, I'm not going to blame him and say like, hey, you tempted me. I told you I didn't want to do anything. Like, I'm not going to do that. But I'm also like, interesting how I said I'm not doing that and you're still pushing it. So I'm like, what's the difference between me saying, hey, I'm abstinent from sex, from like, hey, I'm not drinking alcohol, I've been sober for 5 years, I'm not drinking, and you putting a cup in front of me like, damn, that margarita looks good, don't it? Like, you sure you don't want to drink some? Oh my god, like, oh, would you do that? And the answer is probably no, unless you're a fucker, like an asshole. Right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that's what I saw from this person. It's like, damn, you didn't hear me. That sucks for you, because now you're not going to see me again, because I want someone that's going to respect my boundaries and hear me when I say I'm not participating in this. So, I don't know if you've been through anything similar to that, where as far as like, you really get to see someone when you don't do other things.
So I have a little bit of a problem with that. As you know, like you said, we're grown women, we do what we do, but this is funny because it made me think of a conversation I had with my massage therapist where I was telling him, I was like, man, I really want something meaningful and da-da-da-da. And he was like, well, what do your like dating profiles like say? And I was like reading him the ones from during the time when I was celibate. And he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I saw and it said celibate, I would swipe left, right? So like, how do you like kind of show up as your authentic self and say like, hey, I want something serious, I want something like, I want real connection out of this, but then also not be afraid to not attract matches, because as you know, I have
okay, but still
like,
I'm sorry, but so if you have celibate in your profile or whatever, and they swipe left, well, good, motherfucker, you weren't my person. Yeah. So that's not a bad thing,
but... your profile say celibate? Your profile for that guy?
I don't have a profile at the moment.
Okay.
Yes. I might have had that on my profile where I'm like, I'm currently practicing abstinence. I really am looking for a genuine connection. Like, I miss love and I miss being in love, and that's what I'm looking for. And I've had guys tell me like straight up like, oh, well, I'm not looking for anything serious. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Thanks for being honest. Yeah. But I don't honestly, I can't say for sure I wrote that, but I want to say I did. But right now I don't have a profile. So
yeah.
Continue.
Well, girl, you know me. I'm just out here like, wow, this is going on Tinder bender. So, but this is what I will say to like add to your point. When the last dude, the little young guy, that's nice and local and whatever, he comes around, and like you said, if you go like straight to sex and you're like, that's kind of fire. I find myself like, what's the word? Disregarding, overlooking, like just being like, all right, well, you have really no emotional capacity to kind of meet me here, but that is fire. So,
Yep.
And then that just kind of like blocks your energy off. And like we talked about, like I had to be like, all right, look, as much as I'm enjoying sitting on your lap, this I know is not what I'm looking for. And I feel like that's been a big challenge of mine. And I've been called out on this before in readings where like I'll connect with someone and I'll know they're not the ticket. I can hang out with you in 5 minutes and see where this is going to end. And I'll know they're not the ticket. And I'll be like, but he can cook good. And but he snowboards. And then I end up wasting my fucking time and energy. And now they're like around, or they don't smell right, or there's just some kind of fuckery. And I'm just like, fuck. And then I find myself like having to undo. And now I'm realizing I'm dealing with a bunch of dumb shit for no reason. Now I got to find a way to gracefully, kindly get this person out of my orbit, you know, who's allowed their mind to jump forward a few steps. And my mind knowing it was never that kind of party, you know, and just like having to take emotional responsibility for not only myself, but the people that I allow in my orbit. So that is something I have been dealing with like hardcore, like, and it has not been fucking easy because I think it's been about a week of me telling this boy no. And
no está aquí.
No está aquí, but also
it never was. Yeah. No, I get that. And so I want to say there's nothing wrong. Like if you feel like I have needs that I want taken care of, like that's cool. Then just say that. Be like, hey, so I'm gonna be honest with you, and I enjoy our time in the bedroom, but that's it. Like I just want you to know that there is nothing growing from here. Like I really just want sex right now, and so just so you know, that way they don't have this illusion of like, oh man, like I can really do something with this girl because she's fucking awesome, because we are fucking awesome.
We are awesome.
At the same time, like don't get any ideas. This is just fun and play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing too that I learned, because I had a similar situation, and what I did, because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, it happened to be his birthday around the days that we were talking, and so I made sure not to be there on his birthday, and he took offense of that. But I already had seen, I'm like, I don't want you to think I'm here to stay, so let me not be a part of your special day, you know what I mean? And so I made sure I didn't go on his birthday, or I didn't hang out with him on his birthday like he wanted me to. And so, I mean, there are different ways of showing like, hey, this isn't going anywhere. But I think the best way is just to be honest. Because I did have someone be really honest with me, and he's just like, because I was trying to hang out with him because I thought he was super cool. He lives in the mountains. So I was like, oh my God, let's hang out. And he's just like, yeah, but you know, I noticed you want something serious, and I'm not looking for anything serious right now. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I was like, we can still hang out then. Because now at least I know you're not looking for anything serious, so my mind's not going to wander off and to be like, oh my God, he was great, and maybe we can do something. And it's like, no, he already said he's not looking for something serious. So again, like it's not wrong to entertain certain people's because of their abilities to do amazing things in certain areas. But if we're just honest from the start, then I think, you know, that should be cool. But for me, like I said, like right now, I'm looking for something genuine. I'm looking for real connection. And so I've realized how awesome it is to not have sex with people if you're looking for that.
Yeah. Emotional responsibility. I want to say something about that, because you said, you know, if we communicate our needs and we're up front, that also has to, in order for that to work, the recipient of that information has to be emotionally responsible enough to say, okay, but I feel myself getting kind of here, you know, and then be able to separate themselves. And I feel like a lot of people haven't done that work. A lot of us are still in that area of like self-abandonment, where someone tells us like, oh, I'm not really looking for some, you know, anything serious, or I just want some, you know, sex or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, you know, I'll go with that, knowing damn good and well that's not what you want, or knowing damn good and well that's not what you feel. And it really, one thing that I found, like after I did like my inner child healing before I moved out to Colorado, and I had learned to like validate my emotions, and I had learned to like differentiate between which wants and needs of mine were actually authentic and which were like band-aids to childhood wounds. And then I go and find someone and he's not taking the same classes at all. And he doesn't have any of that fucking framework working. And so now here you are, me, and, you know, this connection where, you know, you're trying to be emotionally responsible, but this person hasn't learned to be emotionally responsible with themselves. And then it just kind of goes to shit because, you know, they're allowing, it's acts of violence against yourself. Every time we self-abandon, every time we feel that little, oh, this doesn't feel good, but then we go ahead and do it away. It's an act of violence against ourselves, you know, and it's our responsibility to stand up for ourselves because no one else is going to do it for us because nobody knows what's going on inside of us. You know, each of us have our own individual wiring, our own individual stories and all that. So it's a delicate fucking dance to do. It really fucking is, but...
Yeah. And watching people dance to it, it really lets you see a little deeper that they don't even realize, you know what I'm saying? Because we've done the work.
Yes.
We've done the work. So when we see certain things or hear certain things, we're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like you haven't done some work and I'm not at that level anymore. And so that's another way too, that I see things and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. No disrespect to you and to how you live and believe, but like, I see something in you that I'm not at that level anymore.
It doesn't resonate.
So also trying to reach people at my level and only inviting those in my experience. And something to jump off of, like, you know, the self-respect. And I'm not saying it's like you're a shitty person for wanting to just have fun and have sex with people. Like, no. But what I've realized from practicing this, and I've only done this for like a week or two or something, I decided I am no longer. But it's like, if I really hold myself up to a certain standard and I'm only wanting the people that are at my level of spirituality or frequency and energy, then I need to treat myself like such. You know, like, I'm not going to just give my body and my energy to just any little dumb fuck because he knows how to give good sex and other stuff. You know, as much as it's really, you know, how do you say it? Tempting. It's really tempting. Yeah. But I feel like I've reached a level in my life where I'm just like, I've done that. And it's not getting me where I want to be. You know what I mean? And so now I'm being super picky and careful about where I'm putting this amazing body that I want to claim to be, you know, and this amazing person. And it's like, I think I posted either a podcast or a TikTok where I was just like, I no longer want to be a part of your experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a roster of women that you just want to keep adding to, and I no longer want to be in your experience. I want to invite you into my experience and my aura, you can say. And so now it's like, yeah, now I'm going to be careful on who I'm sharing this with. And I think by doing that and by claiming that, the universe is taking care of me, and it's only sending me the right people that have a chance at, you know, getting into my aura and my experience. So it's been really awesome to see and feel, and giving myself that respect and that value. I feel like it's changed a lot of my frequency levels. Like, oh shit, she thinks she's that and she's treating herself like that. Okay, like we've done leveled up, people. And so I've raised my vibration just by doing that, you know, by putting myself in that fucking pedestal that I love to put others on. Yeah.
What a self call out.
I do. I mean, that's just me. I'm a big lover. Like, I love to love, and I love to take care of the people I love. And so I realize that, like, because I love you and I see your potential, like, I'm like, oh, and it's like, no, bitch. Like, if they're that good and you feel you're that good, you guys are on the same level, which is even better. So I'm learning.
Yeah, I am too. Because I'm the same way with respect to love. Like, oh my God, so last night, this is like, I should not be sharing this. My ego is very bruised right now, but I'm just going to keep it real.
Let's do it.
So, what's his name? Excuse me, and I, the guy that I've been talking to for a year in Maserati at the Kia dealership, right?
Okay.
So I was looking back because I deleted our whole message thread, right? But I was looking back through my drafts because I like writing, I like articulating, and I wrote him all these but what I was looking for, because when I first felt myself like getting feeling really deeply connected to him, I was like, fuck this shit, I'm not telling him. So I would write him emails in my drafts folder in the morning before I'd send him a little blasé message. That way I could honor myself by like saying how I feel, but then also honor my ego by not putting it out there and letting him know unnecessarily, that's how I feel. But I was thinking about that, like, man, I absolutely love that energy of like being drawn to someone and having beautiful things to write to them. I don't know why, like I swear I'm a poet, but it's only like if I'm in love with somebody, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that I write and like the way I articulate, the way my brain works, I'm like, I love having a fucking audience for that. Like, love having an audience. So like, it's weird with me, as fun and as flippant as I can be with regards to like the sex stuff, right? Because to me, that's on a whole different level of just like, sex stuff. And then there's like this whole other thing where I feel like I have soul contracts with someone and I'm like, feeling deeply drawn to them and can't fucking turn this shit off to save my fucking life, and it's like this, I don't know, I feel like I'm in this weird arena of like having to balance my ego input and my soul input, you know what I'm saying? Because like, my soul is loud, but my ego is loud too. So it's like, I feel like this constant like push and pull of whatever. But I keep telling myself, like, as I go through this process, and him and I have like reconnected and been talking like way more. I'm supposed to see him Friday. but it's this like energy of like, okay, what is, like I was saying, self-abandonment, what is, an act of self-betrayal, self-abandonment, what is like diminishing my needs versus what is allowing myself to like level up in different ways. Because the connection with him has given me like this weird level of peace with respect to how love can be without it being as clingy as I need it to be. Because historically, like, I'm a clingy bitch. Like, wait a minute, we're into each other, let's hang out. Like, where you going? Like, I'm on my way. Like, you're in my shit, I'm in your shit. Like, I don't do that whole like distance thing. And to have this connection with him and to have like that, not only just like the actual connection, but like the telepathic connection. And then I don't know, man, just kind of like finding a way to like find balance in that soul connection versus just like whateverness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit's been hard.
But you know what? What I've noticed in I've seen this in both of us is that we have this tendency to see people through our lenses, which we can see through people a little bit, and we see either their potential or their struggles or their energy. Like we can see their true self, and it's hard to separate that from the reality of what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Yes, and where they're at, and so it sometimes it is frustrating because it's like, damn, like, but if you only knew what I knew, like, you would be on board and you would feel safe with me because, like, I know, and so seeing their potential, it allows us to love that person quickly and easily because we know who they really are at a soul level.
Yep. It's the downside of being psychic. You know what I mean?
It is.
Being able to feel people at those levels.
Yeah. And I think it's a beautiful thing for you to be able to poetically express yourself.
Girl.
Because I know what it felt like to be given that, even though it wasn't that real. But I know what it felt like to be spoken to that way and the empowerment that comes with that. Girl. Like, if you talk to me like that, which you are more than welcome to do so, if you talk to me like that, I feel like, oh my God, I can change the world. I can move mountains. Like, so I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to express yourself that way. And I think it's awesome that even though you don't give him all of that, you've released it out of your system by writing it down somewhere. And I think that is super important and helpful, because you don't feel like you're carrying that on you. You've already expressed it. And when he's ready to really hear it all, like, it's going to empower him. He just doesn't know.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know. Like, I've always believed 100% in like the power couple idea, you know? Like, I've been saying that. I know. Like, right now it's me and you, girl. It's me and you.
Literally.
We're the power couple. We're gonna show the world. And like I've told you before, like, I'm gonna treat you good so that the next motherfucker that wants to try to come and entertain you, like, he's gonna have to step his game up, because I done bar up. But anyway, I just feel like it's a beautiful thing, because I've felt it before, and for those that have never experienced it, oh my God, like, it makes you feel amazing. And yes, it's really important that you feel that within yourself already. But when you have someone loving you and talking to you like that, oh my God, the power you feel in that. It's like I said, you really feel like you can move a mountain. Like, it's no joke. So I love that. I love that about you, that you're very poetic and very, you're really good with your words.
I have a love-hate relationship with it. Part of me like loves it, and the other part of me, because I can't not say things. Like, I can't be like, oh, I feel this way, but I'm just gonna be quiet. Like, that is not in my fucking wiring, as much as I try. And then even if like my logical brain is like, no, this is the checklist says this is not, no, it's not key. You know, my heart's like, but wait.
Yeah.
You know, and then the heart just has to express itself. So it's like this weird balance. And it was funny too, because like one morning I woke up and I wrote this long, beautiful thing, and then he sent me a message that was like, he didn't remember something that I said, and I just was like, dude, I'm deeply in fucking love with you, and you can't even remember why I go to Idaho. He's like you told me, but sometimes it's, you know what I'm saying? So I end up saying that shit anyway, but yeah, he's the only one where that kind of energy exists. But everybody else is just like waiting room energy, which is not nice. I feel bad saying that, but that's like the truth. It's just like, because I do feel like that divine relationship is coming toward me, and whether it be, you know, Mr. San Diego, or whether it be somebody else, I'm open. I am not attached to the outcome. However, bitch is feeling a little warm in this area, so I'm gonna express that. And if it doesn't pan out to be what it is, I'm okay with showing up as my authentic self, even if I don't get what society would consider, you know, success. For me, success is just having an experience where I get to practice being who I am, you know, and whether, you know, he opens a door and invites a bitch in, or whether I'm standing out in the cold singing, you know, Christmas carols, you know what I'm saying, at the door by myself. Yeah. I'm down, you know, I'm down. And I'm also down with the like not knowing the outcome, because so often when I connect with people, I can see the end. I'm like, oh, that's where that's going immediately. But with him, it's just kind of like, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? And yeah, Spirit had me share a couple of those readings that I fucking got about him, and I just, that shit hits different. Cause yeah, it almost feels like how it did with Alex, where I probably shouldn't have said his name, but whatever. Where like I'm literally being pushed by Spirit to like, hey, and it isn't even like 100% they have anything for me, even though, you know, Vita told me that it was equally beneficial. But sometimes I feel like, because I especially get men, especially with these young ones, I feel bad saying this, but I'm just gonna be honest. I tend to attract young men who have mommy issues, right? Moms just really weren't there. They weren't nurtured. They weren't loved, right? And then also that have been sexually assaulted and sexually abused. I tend to get that, you know, whatever. Not that has to do with this soul connection thing or whatever, but so I feel like sometimes if I'm being blasé and flippant and taking the long way home, the universe will send me people that I can be of service to in some way, shape, or form if I do it emotionally responsibly and not, you know, on some vampire shit like, oh, you just got good pain, come over. Yeah. And then when I'm done, like, okay, go home now. Like, and then
I'm done with you.
but you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. I feel like I'm gonna get yelled at for that, but
whatever. We're here just talking honest.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I was thinking as you were talking about San Diego is that I think it was divinely orchestrated that you didn't see him when you were supposed to, because I feel like it's allowed you to talk more, you know, and like it's if you, and again, like I feel like this is what abstinence does too. Like if you refrain from doing that, what else do you got to do? Oh, well, let's get to fucking know each other. Like we couldn't see each other, like let's at least talk. So it kind of invites that, you know, the communication and the opening up to certain things. And so I just heard that, like as you were talking behind him, I was like, oh my God, that's why you didn't see him, because you were supposed to get to this place.
And this is why I love you so fucking much. And it is so great having people in my orbit that have psychic abilities, because you can put that together. Because yes, and then also this, you remember that time when I went to see him and I was like, I can feel this is over, like I can feel this is over, right? The reason why that happened is because I had some inner child work to do, and I was using him as the martyr of certain things that were unhealed within me, and I was hurting myself. And so while they didn't want to shut the whole thing down long term, I felt like they shut it down for me then, because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing with the connection anymore. So they made it just feel like nothing, you know. And then I was able to walk away, whatever. And then he came, but then even though I was able to walk away and I was like, oh, I'm fucking good, and I delete my fucking thing, he's popping up on my fucking YouTube thing, not even him, popping up in my TikTok and shit. And then he hits me up and he's like, you just keep popping up everywhere and my friends are asking about you, and like, and so like I think that like Spirit wanted me to really take that break from him, that distance from him, because I was basically hurting myself, you know. And then now that he's back in, it's like, okay, yes, he's still there, he's not gone anywhere, nothing about the way he's felt has changed at all. But you have, right? You paid attention to like what you were doing, and yeah, he wants to see you today, but you got your kids, and yeah, he wants to see you next week, but you got sick. What was it? Like shit keeps coming up to where I can't keep seeing him, and just like you said, what keeps happening? Talking, conversations, jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, all
it's like you fell in love with the person in a way, but now you're gonna fall in love with really who I am. You're really gonna see like how fucking awesome I am. And you were saying that too. You were like, it just sucks because he doesn't know. He doesn't even know how fucking cool I am. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because once I get to know and hear how funny you are and sarcastic and smart and like, oh my God, like you think you love me? Like wait until you get to really know me. Like I'm not gonna get you off of me. So yeah, I think it's really awesome that you're getting to experience that with him, because I know how connected you feel to him, and I think it's really beautiful that some way, somehow, like you're actually having conversations and getting to know each other, and I think that's fucking beautiful.
And I think I fall in love with people's souls. I think because of my intuitive abilities, I can feel my past life connections. Like with you, before I even ever fucking met you, I could fucking feel you. And I felt this kindredness with you. Like, and I feel like I have that ability when I connect with people. It's like, I feel like I can feel the residual energies of whatever our connections were in past lives. I can always feel the love, you know, but I don't know who the fuck you are in this life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, that's another thing too. I find myself having to like check myself, because I can be gullible and I can just be like, oh, my heart feels this way, I'm gonna go do this, and then get fucked in the ass with no Vaseline, like that one situation. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
So yeah. It's definitely,
I mean, well, that's what I was referring to as when I was telling you that we see people for like we see their soul, and that's what we fall in love with, and just like you, like I felt like when I was dating somebody a few months ago, like we were saying I love you after like dating for like a week or two, and it's like because I felt like I could see his soul, I saw his potential, I felt the past life connections, and I just felt really comfortable, even comfortable enough to being like, yeah, I fucking love you. And he had said it too, so I was just like, damn. But again, it's not always a good thing, because he didn't do the work that needed to be done in order to be a good partner for me at this time. And so that's another thing too that sucks, is like you see their soul, you can love their soul, but you gotta also respect the fact that they haven't gotten there yet. You know, they haven't done the work to get to where we can be reached in today. You know what I mean? So it is hard, but that's why it's like so important to make sure that you're always being true to yourself and being careful, because like you, I feel like I've been very vulnerable many times because of how much I love to love and how much I see your soul, and I'm like, oh my God, I fucking love you, man. And I mean, there was also a time when we talked about why don't we normalize saying I love you? Like,
exactly,
there's nothing
that's
wrong.
What I'm dying to say. I'm like, yes, let's all say I love you always, constantly.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off. Like, even if it's like, look, I love you, but I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're just not the thing. But like, I love you. Like, I see you. Like, I feel like that's what namaste means, right? Like, I see you, bitch.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's like, I don't know, I've really learned in these past few months, mostly like in this past month, I feel like I really have come to a place where I value everyone's human experience. And I love the work you've done. I love the challenges that you've overcome. Like, I love you as a fucking soul. You know, like, you are out here with me in this earth surviving, you know what I mean? Like, I fucking love you, man, because
in the trenches taking grenades.
Seriously, man. So I'm like, fuck, I love you, bruh. Like, good job. Like, help me out or help you out. Like, let's just, I don't know. I just feel like there's just so much respect right now from me to everyone in this fucking human life. Like, it's not easy, and respect to you and love to you for doing the damn thing and being out here.
Hell yeah, because it ain't easy. Like you said, we have shit coming at us from all these different angles and all these things we have to figure out and balance, and yeah, it's a lot.
Yep, sure is. But it could be fun, you know. It could be, I mean, it's really when you start taking things so fucking personal and to heart, and just really believing that the universe is always looking out for you, and they're gonna move you where they need to move you. And if you didn't get the job, it's because you weren't supposed to, because there's something different. And if this didn't work out, it was for you. It's not like everything becomes a lot easier when you look at life that way. Mm-hmm. And call me Delulu all you want, but hey, this Delulu bitch is happier. I am a much happier bitch than to be like, oh my god, why didn't I get that job? So it's like, no, man, I'm a happier bitch. So you can believe what you want, but I know what it feels like to be on both.
Look,
this
I'm
one's better.
Delusional with it too. Like, you know that Michael Jackson fucking video where like he walks and then the floor lights up, and he walks and the floor lights up. Like, that's like light puppets. Like, you know, it's just like this big ass. This whole earth is just this puppet show, you know, of fucking experiences and emotions and lessons and fun and pain and just like all this shit. Especially, I feel like if you're like in a culmination lifetime where you've like come to heal a bunch of stuff from a bunch of different past lives, that shit gets gnarly. It's like it's like everybody's a bad guy in your video game. you know, but as you defeat everything, you level up, like you said, you know, you become stronger, you become more impactful in whatever it is that you're doing. You become fearless because you know that like it's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's like fine. Like when I went on that date with that one guy with one leg, and he like drove like 100 fucking miles per hour around the fucking mountain. I'm pretty sure the speed limit's like 35. And instead of me being like, you need to slow down, like this is dangerous, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna live forever, bitch. Like, I was having so much fun with that shit, because like, if I died, that's what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't. I was fine. It was fun.
I mean, I honestly discovered that one really great way to my heart is to put my ass through an adrenaline rush. Oh my god, like this really special guy took me off-roading, and I shared that with you, and I was just like, I don't think I realized when you are in a car and you're not driving, you are truly entrusting that person with your fucking life at that point.
Yep.
And that's a really great exercise to do with someone that you're trying to really grow a good bond with, and like, you know, a deep connection with. Like, here, I trust you with my life, let's go have fun. You know?
Right.
But yeah, I was just like, holy shit, I love you. Like, you just put me into a little girl stage. Like, I was so, girl, my cheeks were hurting from like smiling so much because of how fun it was. I was just like, because it was fucking crazy. It was so fun, and he's in this big truck, and it was just doing a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's one way to my heart. But what I wanted to say too, to jump off from like, everyone is teaching us something. when you look at dating life like that, where it's like, I'm gonna meet who I'm supposed to meet, whether it's for me or whether it's for them. No hate, no problem, like, no, like, oh my God, why? Like, no. Like, going there with an open mind and just knowing I'm either gonna learn something cool, or just me being myself is gonna teach this guy something that he needed to hear. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot easier to date when you have that too. So
yeah,
no expectations, and just fucking roll with it. The universe is taking care of you, and you really gotta believe that the universe is taking care of me. I'm meeting who I'm supposed to meet. Like, example, dating younger guys. I thought it was pretty fun at first, but then I was like, I almost felt like a Medusa. Like, I felt like I was just taking in their youth. So it felt kind of good and hot at one point. I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, oh my God, I'm taking your youth. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is, like, I had stopped talking to somebody that I never really met, because I started to feel like, well, shit, if this was another way where it was like the guy was 37 and the girl was 20, how would you feel about that? Like, are you okay with that? And then I was like, I don't think so, unless I'm being evil about it. You know, so I was like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because I'm not coming from an ugly place where I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna abuse you, and you know, like, I'm not. I'm really, if anything, I wanted to teach these guys a little something. Like, I just, because, you know, they were just so young and unexperienced from what they told me. So it was just like, no, I can make this like a teaching thing. At the same time, I'm having fun. But that was before I decided to go abstinent, because I'm looking for something genuine. But what I'm trying to get to is, like, this young guy reached out to me just the other day because he was like super depressed and he's going through some hard times at home. And I'm like, oh, I was here for you. I got you, bro. I got you. So then I started to, you know, give him advice and like recommend books and just trying to encourage him to not let the shitty things in your life bring you down. If anything, allow them to teach you something. You know, don't take it so personal. Yeah, it fucking sucks, but like, those people are teaching you something. They're teaching you what not to do in life, and they're encouraging you to get the fuck out of there. Like, go do something that's gonna like fire you up and have you move out of the way and do your own thing. Like, imagine if things were so easy at home and awesome, and you just got too comfortable. You know, and you don't do the things that you're supposed to do because you're comfy. Like, why the fuck should I go look for another job or a job period and another home? I got everything I need here. I don't have to worry about anything, and then you just stay stagnant. Right. So I realized that I was there for him. He wasn't something to teach me. I was supposed to be there for him for this, and so that's what I mean by, we meet everyone we're supposed to meet. Mm-hmm. So no expectations, open mind, and let's just fucking have fun and like, let's help each other out. Mm-hmm. It's my opinion.
Girl. Yeah, so that last, I don't know if I told you this, but like, we're sitting on the couch, the young dude, the most recent young dude. And this motherfucker. Okay, so like the initial dynamic, remember I told you I did like a reading for him the first time he came over, like, no, nothing sexual, whatever, because I could tell he was pretty much at a crossroads of like, all right, I'm gonna wow the fuck out, or maybe I'm gonna look at who I'm becoming and make a better decision, right? So whatever, he's hanging out one time and he fucking picks up his phone and he's like, look, and he shows me this TikTok where it's like this lady, and it's like somebody's some single 40-year-old mom or whatever thinking she's gonna be alone forever. And then he was like, and then this young dude pops up and he's like, somebody's 25-year-old son. And it was the moment where I was like, you know what? My son just turned 23 2 days ago. I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop this. I gotta stop this, because if your 25-year-old is showing you your ridiculousness, and you know every conversation is like, because I felt like with him, and it's funny because he actually asked, like, he hit me up before this because he still keeps trying to come over even though I haven't had him over in a week. He's like, yeah, send me the link, I'll watch the podcast. I'm like, you need to watch the podcast. But every time he would come over, it would be like me being preachy, and not even like trying to, but like just the shit that it would come out of his mouth. I'm like, bruh, Like, just, it's like, you know what I came up with last night? I was thinking about it. I was like, they just don't have the in the brain, when you learn new things, you have neural pathways or neurotransmitters. I can't remember what they're called. My psychology studies are way behind me. But I'm like, he just doesn't have those pathways. They're just not there yet. But man, it was this huge moment of just like, bitch, what are you doing? It's like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing that came to my mind too. I was like, well, fuck, Selena's 17 and this guy is 18. Yeah, it's not comfortable. And then again, they're not there yet. They don't have enough life experience.
They don't have anything for you. And not to be shitty, they do have hard dick and bubble gum.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
yes, ma'am.
That you get a certain age and that you need, no, it's just not enough. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and it's really hard for me too to hear certain things and not give advice. Just like, you can change that, right?
Yeah,
you know that, right? Yeah, you don't have to always feel that shitty, right? You know that.
Can we talk about like things I've noticed too with dating though? Like if you're dating somebody and they're talking about their exes, or oh yeah, my ex, they're actually telling you about them.
Yeah.
Or they're telling you the kinks in their energy and what type of energy they invite into their life. And that's one thing I actually told this dude, because he was like, yeah, I see this, I don't see you have any red flags. I was like, bruh, I am full of red flags, first of all. Okay, don't let the fucking curly hair distract you. A bitch's got some red flags. But I was telling him, I was like, I really pay attention to the way people talk about their life. And you talk about your life like everybody's out to get you. Like, oh, this is something bad happens to me and people are trying to make me be that dude and blah, 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 blah. And my boss and da-da-da. You're just the constant victim. Okay, I'm good. Like, because now, like, I'm saying, all right, I want to be in that experience and I don't. You don't hear me talking about my life like that. You don't hear me sitting up there victimizing myself, based on like other people's whatever. You don't hear me talking about how people are trying to get me to turn up and all this. Like, no. I want peace. I want quiet. I live in the mountains by myself for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel like guys forget that. Because I've been in situations too where the guy is going off on like all the terrible things. And I'm like, you're either trying to get me to feel sorry for you and be like, oh my God, poor guy, let me show him a better life. Or you're showing me what I'm about to jump into.
Yeah.
And Captain Save a motherfucker right here, no longer. I quit the job. But like before I was like, oh my God, I can teach you better. I'll give you a good time. Like, I'll love you right. I'll do it. Don't worry. I'll show you what a good life is. And it's like, no. Like at this age, I'm not trying to change you. Like, I want to come into your experience. You can come into mine, but I feel like what you're showing me is what I'm going to get. I'm no longer with the idea of like, he has great potential. Yeah. If I teach him a few things more, oh my God, we'll be amazing. Like, I think that's one of the things that everyone, not just women, because everyone always says, well, women need to stop trying to think that they can change men. No, everybody. What you see, what you hear is what you get. Are you okay with that? If you're not, thank you, but no thank you. Like, don't entertain it anymore, because it is right there. And so something I would love to suggest to all, not just men, is don't sit there and talk all this shit about or anything negative. But then again, like, you also want to see what's real. You don't want them to be fake about it.
Yes, be authentic. If that's your truth, let a motherfucker know so that we can decide based on that energy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing I deal with too. Like, I think I was telling you about this. As soon as I started like distancing myself, it's like, oh, I like snowboarding and oh, and I'm gonna meditate. No, you're fucking not. You're not gonna fucking meditate. Yeah. Stop it. Just because you see how I spend my mornings, don't try to like, now that you see I'm trying to like distance myself because I don't have peace in the morning now, because now you're like all up in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like turning shit on when I'm just like, I'm such a like fucking, I'm a loner. I really like being alone. I really like being quiet. I really just kind of like being in my own energy. And I've been with people, like when I was married to Jay, we were able to do that because he was in the living room playing video games and I was in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So even though we weren't like the whatever couple, I do know what it is like to have an energy with someone where we could just be who we are without like having to have that enmeshment. But like he just didn't have the capabilities, and I find that happens a lot, and it's one of the reasons why like I'll tend to listen more than I talk, because I find that if I talk about certain things about myself, a lot of men, and not all of them, and probably women too, always women too, everything is like, the gender separation with stuff is not fucking real, y'all. We're all people, we all do the same shit, right?
Yep.
But but you'll find that they're paying attention to what you're talking about so that they can change who they are or change how they perceive, how they project themselves, so that you'll fit together. And that's not an authentic connection. Even if you manage to fool me, even if you manage, even if I manage to think, you know, make you believe that I'm drinking the spiritual sauce and whatever the fuck, you know, behavior leaks, and who you truly are will come out, and nothing inauthentic can like last, period. You know what I'm saying? It will break down eventually. And do you really want to be with somebody who you can't be your true self with? Do you really want to be with somebody who you have to pretend to be a version of yourself that you don't even fucking understand? Like, reincarnation, what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know, Nada, you know, like with our particular beliefs, I know for me personally, there's no way I would have the beliefs that I have had I not had a consistent series of experiences that have shown me beyond a fucking reasonable doubt what I believe now. And there was nothing that anyone could have said to me 5 years ago that was just going to make me get it, you know, just like, oh, get it, like, oh yeah, reincarnation's real. No, it's fucking okay. I was very much like, oh, it's a theory. It wasn't until I got on my past life readings where I was like, holy fucking shit, dude, this shit is real. It wasn't until my grandma died and bitch started talking to me where I was like, oh my fucking god, y'all, this shit is real. It wasn't until I started asking my guides and angels like help for shit, and magical crazy shit just started appearing out of nowhere where I was like, this is not a fucking joke. You know what I'm saying? So you can't fake that. You have to have, you know, that process of experiences, that process of awakening, so to speak, you know. And if you pretend to, you know, be in that energy, you're just going to end up feeling like, I don't know. I'm not really good at pretending to be something that I'm not, so I don't know what that would feel like.
Yeah, I know.
Like, yeah.
It just, you start growing resentment towards that person without even realizing it, because you're like, god damn it, like I'm over here trying to be like you so that you find me attractive, and I'm starting to hate it because I don't like to meditate, I don't like to go hiking, I don't like to do. And it's just like, well, this is why it's so important to be true to yourself. Like, I was dating somebody too that he was just like, no, we can do that. And I was like, no, you don't have to do it if you don't like it. Like, you don't like hiking? Cool. But why the fuck did you post pictures on your dating app that you like hiking and stuff? Like, you liar. But anyway, I kept reminding him. I kept telling him, I was like, no, you don't have to do that just because I do that. I want you to be true to yourself. I literally told him that. I was like, I want you to be true to yourself and only do what you already do. Don't let me and my ways change what you're doing. Oh, I was fasting when I went on the date with him. We went on a tea date because I was fasting. And then he was like, man, you know, I kind of want to fast now too. And I was just like, well, just do it because of the benefits. Like, don't do it because I'm doing it. Like, really understand why you're doing it. Yeah. You know? But yeah, I see that a lot where guys and girls, we tend to just start to be a chameleon because they change, right? You try to be a chameleon and you're like, oh yeah, I like to hike. Oh yeah, I like basketball. Oh yeah, I like football. And it's like, no, you don't. And I would know if we're in the right place for us to date if I see that you're being true to yourself, because I find so much love and respect for that. I always highly encourage people to just be yourself. Don't ever change for anybody. Like, if your voice changes with different people, indicator that you are changing for that person, stop doing it. Be true to yourself. Be unapologetically yourself. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot more respect and happiness when you can keep doing that. That is like key to like being a happy motherfucker.
And manifesting is something that happens all the fucking time. It's not something that you have to like intentionally do. So by being yourself, you're doing two things. You're attracting people that align with that, and you're repelling people who aren't. And when you're pretending, okay, so now you're attracting people who are going to pretend with you, or going to be in this fake energy with you. Like, no. And also, and I know it's interesting because sometimes I want to give perspective, and I have to like remind myself that I have extremely strong intuitive things. So I don't know if it's like this with everyone, but for me particularly, I can feel the moment that you're not being real. I can fucking feel it. I can feel it before you even fucking say it. I can feel it.
That part.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like...
I almost like started to give warnings to guys that I would go on dates with, because I didn't want them to do it and then like totally turn me off, or I would just be like, oh my God, like this is awkward for me, because I can feel that what just came out of your mouth was total bullshit. Yeah. So, and sometimes I do want to tell these guys, like, you know what, I do have like psychic abilities, and so I want to highly encourage you to be honest, be true to yourself, because I'm gonna feel it, and I'm not gonna know how to explain that to you later. You know, I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you totally lied about that story you gave me, or whatever. It's like, and it doesn't matter at that point. Like at that point, you just fired yourself.
That's a wrap.
But,
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and then I'm also like wanting to remind or warn people that I have an awesome team of like an awesome spiritual team that are gonna tell on you.
They are,
and that are gonna protect me.
Yes.
And so, don't fuck with me.
Yep.
You know,
I can hear your thoughts. I can feel what you're feeling. Like all that fucking shit. Damn.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. I forgot. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, I was telling Colorado. I was like, bruh, I don't do the whole go through the phone thing. I said, if I even feel like I need to go through your phone, it's over. It's over. Because I already know. I don't need confirmation. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So, and
that is being true to yourself.
It really is. Yeah, and when I was in my 20s too, so this is like before, you know, I don't know, it's interesting because I feel like I've always known that I'm rare. I just didn't understand like what made me rare. But I would get with dudes, this is like pre-spiritual awakening, this is pre-knowing that I'm psychic, whatever, and I'd be like, all right, look, this is all you got to do to keep me. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want it like this, and then we could be together forever, because, you know, one of my life challenges is to find a partner, and so I'm very drawn to wanting to have a partner, because I've had amazing past lives where I've had really great relationships, you know, and I feel like in this life, I'm here to have like an authentic relationship, like a relationship where like they're honoring themselves and I'm honoring myself, because in past lives where I've had good relationships, it did come at the cost of self-abandonment. You know what I'm saying? Where I like put certain parts of me in the box and over here so that I could fit into this thing because I liked the energy so much. And in this, you know, particular dynamic in this life, I feel like I'm supposed to be butterflies with somebody and we're just supposed to fly together. You know what I'm saying? But I was very much like, oh no, look, this is all I want. This is all you have to do. This is how you fuck me. This is how you talk to me. This is you know, whatever. And it never fucking worked. And I never understood. I'd be like, why is it not working? I'm telling you fuckers. You know, and then I realized once I had the spiritual awakening and I started pulling natal charts on people, I was like, oh my God, this person doesn't even have the programming. It's like they don't even have like, because you know I'm a nerd, right? So like I'm imagining like your PC, you know, you pop a game in there and you want to play Red Dead, but you don't have the right video card. You know what I'm saying? So the shit's flickering, it's looking like shit, like it's not like functioning.
And you're over here mad about it.
And I'm mad, like what the fuck, work, you know? But like that's just not their programming, and it was never supposed to. You know, that was like a huge epiphany for me when I started realizing like, because there is actual somebody or thousands of people actually that you can align with and you can have a really good connection with, but what that does require is for you to truly be who you are and for them to truly be who they are, and then for those energies to align, and it'll happen automatically. There's nothing extra that you have to do. You don't have to sprinkle your fucking, you know, doorstep with sea salt or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Just by being who you are, you attract what's, you know, aligned for you. So
yeah. And isn't it crazy that you give somebody the manual to treat you and how to like love you, and they still don't get it? And it's like, yeah, because if it's not your person, it's not in their programming, like you said. And so another thing too that's good is don't give up your manual. You're giving up the cheat sheet to fuck you. Like,
it didn't work though, just so you know.
Yeah, and it never does, because I did the same thing. Yeah, I did the same thing with like my marriages, because not this first one, because that one doesn't even count. The second one, I was just like, look, I'm an easy girl. I don't do expensive purses. I don't go crazy shopping. Like, I'm so fucking easy, bro. Like, all you gotta do is love and respect me. Like,
and
that's
play
it.
With me, yeah. Like, let's have fun. Let's do
like
shit,
empower me.
You know?
I'll empower you. Let's be this power couple. Oh my God. And it's like, no, because it's like you said, it's not in their programming and it's not your person. And you shouldn't have to tell your person what you need, because that person, that even if it's like I don't know. I just feel like even if you don't give them a manual, if they're at a level that you're at, they're going to hear you. They're going to automatically respect you. They're going to empower you because they've already done all the work and they know what it takes to have a decent relationship with anybody, you know, not just like a significant other or like your love relationship. Like, no, with anyone. You come with someone with respect and honesty. Like, oh my God. So yeah, telling somebody what you need is only letting them know like, oh, I got a fake ABC because I don't have it in me, but I know she needs it. So let me just fake it. Fake it until she's hooked and I can stop giving it.
Yeah. And then now there's resentment and now we hate each other. And now we're spreading false rumors about how marriage is bad and relationships are bad and we should all be separate and blah fucking blah. And that's not true. It's just you tried to fit a square fucking peg in a round hole and now you're damning the whole institution of love and connection because yo dumbass, by you I mean me, you know, thought that you were going to manhandle a situation, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Be true. Be authentic. Let it flow. The right people will come to you. I truly believe that.
Yep, I keep reminding myself of that every day. I'm like, okay, today this is what I feel like doing, but I'm not attached to any outcomes. What is meant for me is on its way to me now. What is meant for me is on, and it could be this, but it could also be something else. But it could be this, it could be that, or it could be somewhere. And then another thing I like to tell myself, or my guides and angels, because I talk to them all the time, I'm like, please surprise and delight a bitch. You know I asked for Nicholas Sparks level motherfucking romance. Run me that shit. Like, I am so excited to like fall into, you know, just the magic and wonder of something new that is actually aligned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I can truly say from my personal experience that I've met someone that honestly has shifted my thoughts to like the whole abstinence thing. Like just having him in my experience has made me sit back and think like, well, shit, like what we're doing with, you know, he and I, like we're really getting to know each other, you know? And I just from being in his presence and having conversations with him, I felt I needed to come correct and like to be in a place too where I can reach him, you know, where it's like, well shit, he's at that level. And not that I'm faking it, but I'm like, no, like that's the kind of level I would want. And so what do I got to do to feel like I've leveled up and I've, you know, really changed, you know, my experience and what I'm doing with people and stuff like that. And so when you do meet it, you feel it. And if you're feeling encouraged to do something better, I feel like that's also a good sign that, you know, they were already encouraging you without saying a word, just by living and talking. Like he's encouraged me to like respect myself more, value myself more, because there is genuine connection out there. And I'm over here fucking around, wasting my time and energy and giving to others experience. And it's like, you know, man, yeah, that's really made me see how cool it is to like make real connection, and how much sex has honestly nothing to do with that. Because I have not had sex with this guy, and I'm telling you, just knowing him has made me not want to have sex with anybody until I figure out what I don't know. Yeah.
Aww, I love that. So I feel like that. I felt like that about San Diego for a while. Where I was like, fuck, I don't even want to give myself to nobody else. But since I'm such a fucking psycho, and since I like tend to obsess about things, I'm like, I gotta fuck somebody else, or I'm gonna like lose my fucking mind. And it was funny too. In one of the readings, V was like, I'm gonna need you to get distracted. She was like, because if you, just like if you just focus on one person, she was like, you can get really in your head, and then just be like, fuck this, and then she's like, and then you'll just bail. You know, she told me I had runaway bride energy. It's like, you know what? You know, so yeah, I definitely feel that.
Yeah, and I feel like part of that too is like you're expecting them to be in your life like all the time again, or like, you know, just get busy with them. And it's like, that's also a reminder to just keep doing you. Yeah, keep doing you.
And
like
I'm very full speed. Like I'm very like, okay, I like you. Let's get married. Like let's buy some fucking property. Like there's no like, you know, the puppy goes 0 to 100. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 30, 40. No, you know? And then that's another thing that he's teaching me, you know, because I've never, ever in my fucking life had to or wanted to be patient for anyone. Ever. Like, I'm usually like, fuck that. No, I'm this. Come here. Do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like so in like, I'm very action oriented. And so, yeah, this has definitely been like a very interesting challenge to, you know, feel deeply for someone and have to be patient because they're doing something that you respect deeply, which is following their dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also keeping your motherfucking options open because you know the universe, and that's another thing I noticed too, like the universe isn't sending me anybody that's like pulling on my heart. Not a single fucking person. So,
and I really feel it's because this is the bonding time with San Diego.
Yeah,
which is so exciting.
This is like my next lesson. You know? And I've had some gnarly ass lessons, things that just did not feel good, but
I honestly feel like this whole abstinence from sex, like in a way you're kind of doing it too, and you're seeing what happens when you don't do that. Because like I've said before, like doing that right off the bat, it blurs your vision to what the reality is. Either the sex was so good that you're like, this is fine.
Right.
Or the sex was so good that, and because we make genuine connection with people when we have sex with them, it's hard to distinguish, oh shit, is that like real connection or is that just really good sex? You know what I mean? And a lot of times, like I know Fuckface used to always mention this, that you are with this fog because you're horny. I forgot what he called it. That after you come, you're like, oh shit. How the fuck did I fuck that?
You up? Yeah, I've actually recently learned about that with tantric sex. That when we have orgasm, we actually like our brain takes it's like doing cocaine or heroin or something. You know what I mean? Like our brain chemicals like bottom out. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's perfect. That's true. And then another thing too is when we're operating from our horny brain, we're not seeing anything else because we don't care about anything else. We're just fucking horny. And then after we have sex or after we do whatever and we release that, we have more clarity.
Yeah.
So I was thinking too, like anytime I got really like horny and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get on Bumble or I'm gonna get on this. And it's just like, no. We're acting from the wrong side of things. Let's take care of that and see how we feel after. And so after taking care of that, then I'm like, oh, it was just that. Like, I really don't want to be back on the dating apps. Like, I'm just a vibrator would do. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean, that might be another suggestion too, that if you're going to go on a date, if you really want clarity and you don't want to be thinking like, I'm just fucking horny and this guy's hot or this girl's beautiful, I'm going to get her in her pants. Like, maybe take care of yourself before you go on the date so that you have more clarity, because a lot of times there's regret after you've taken care of it with the other person, and you don't want that because then you got to shake them off of you later. So yeah, I really find that to be very true, and I'm, like I said, I'm learning, and it's pretty fucking awesome to see it and to feel it. But yeah, anything else? Oh no, I was gonna say like just dating tips for dating apps, like
be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Be honest. Can I tell you, like 99.9% of the guys that I connect with on Tinder, I'm like, oh, I want to rewrite their fucking Tinder profile and like take pictures of them for them because they don't know how to fucking photograph. Men do not know how to photograph themselves. Stop fucking posting pictures in the fucking bathroom. What the fuck? Like, don't use fucking filters. Show what you like to do and the things that you want to do with other people. You know what I'm saying? Write a fucking bio. Write about yourself. You know, like, have a take. Don't suck. And I hate to sound like Jim Rome, but like, geez, man.
I mean, I was gonna be like, don't do this, but then I'm like, no, do your thing. Let me see what you really are about, because
really be real about what you want.
Yes, be real, be honest, but just know that if every picture you have on your profile has glasses, I'm gonna swipe left. If you have group pictures where I have to figure out who you are in the group, I'm swiping left.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, because fuck that. Like, listen, you guys, your friends are hotter than you. Stop fucking posting pictures with your homies. Stop it. Stop. Post
And that's why they're doing
pictures of
it.
you
They're
by
like,
your fucking self.
I got hot
Like,
friends.
that ain't cute. You
But
don't
you know-
even. Go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
you know what? Coming from like a spiritual person or whatever, like all these things are only telling me a little bit about you without you telling me anything. Like by you posting pictures of with glasses on or in group pictures, what does that tell me? That tells me you don't have confidence in yourself, bruh. Like.
Yeah.
Confident people are okay being alone, standing alone, no glasses. This is who I am. And I promise you, like 9 out of 10 times, these guys are hotter in person. But like you said, they suck at taking pictures. Man, have I been shocked sometimes. I'm like, oh shit.
I remember I
need
spent
new
a
pictures.
whole fucking week talking to that Japanese dude. I spent a whole fucking week. He was like so polite and so kind, and I was like getting bored because I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And then finally he was like, well, I mean, I am like kind of in like this hedonistic era of my life where I'm just like kind of getting. I'm like, oh well, shit. Then what's your address? Where I'm coming down? Like, just be fucking honest about what the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, especially if you're just passing through, like I really do appreciate that. Like, just be yourself. Oh, also, if you want something real. If you want something real, do the work to learn how to really acknowledge how you feel. If you are still in that place where you are overriding how you feel with logic, for example, I'm going to use the polyamory situation, right? So let's say you connect with someone. I hate that shit. I'm not down with the E&M bullshit. I ain't with that poly bullshit or whatever. So let's say like, you know, you're connected with someone and they're beautiful or they're attractive or whatever, and then they're like poly or whatever, and you're like, oh, I mean, that doesn't really fit with what I want, but damn, she's hot. Like, okay, you've self-abandoned now, and you're not gonna align with something that is truly for you, and that is something that is like so deep that you have to work on with yourself, because a lot of us, like, the first people to disregard our feelings are our parents, right? And then we tend to inadvertently adopt that way of being, and then we start to, you know, disregard our own feelings and come up with logical stuff like, okay, well, all right, well, he's poly, but you know, I mean, my understanding is that like no guys want to be monogamous, so fuck it, I'll just go with that, when that's not what the fuck is in your heart. Honor what's in your heart, honor what you're looking for, because what you're looking for is also seeking you. If it exists within your heart, it exists within the world. And I think a lot of us allow ourselves to be beat down by society's negative perception of marriage and perception of relationships, and you know, oh, you can't trust anyone and blah 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 blah. But like, if you're trustworthy, if you have a good heart, then you have to know that there are other people out there that have that as well, you know. So you kind of have to like emanate that energy of being who you want to be with so that you can attract that. I feel like a lot of us nowadays, we like, especially men, like I noticed that men and women obviously will chip away at what they really desire. It's like when I was thinking about this recently, like, what did I want my relationship to be before everybody fucked with me, before all the lies and fucking bullshit? I wanted a best fucking friend, a best friend that I could play through life with, that I could explore things sexually with. Like, I even would be like, all right, well, what if I'm married and I meet this really hot guy and it's just a vibe and we want to get it real quick? You know what I'm saying? It's like a hot story. Like, I would like to be able to go home and tell my husband about that without him being like, oh no, you know, like, I don't want to have to stop living because I'm with someone, you know, but I also on a fundamental level want to be with somebody who I'm enough for and who is enough for me. So it's like this weird dichotomy of me trying to balance out like what I'm truly looking for. And that's something I've really been dialing into lately, because I want to make sure that I get clear on that. And my guides and angels like, bitch, you don't have to choose. There's a reason why you want to be held with an open hand, so that you can continue to explore life and continue to have fun. Because, you know, for me, like, when I imagine, like, you know how it is snowboarding, right? We snowboard alone, it's fucking fun, but we snowboard together, it's fucking fun. Like, when I ate shit and I'm like flying down the mountain, I could see you seeing me and snow's all in my fucking face. Like, yeah, I could have went through that shit alone. It would have been like, I'd have chuckled, I'd have thought about the people on the lift that saw it, but since you were fucking there and you fucking saw that, it made it so much more entertaining. And I feel that like deeply when I think about like my ideal relationship. It's like, you know, you go through things and you accomplish certain things, and you could just look at your person and you know it was a dream of theirs, and you can smile like, oh,
Yeah.
You got your shit.
Yeah.
Or they're smiling at you like, oh, you got your shit. And it's this pure, authentic, unfuckwithable fucking connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you really have to get clear on like chipping away of all the things you've given up on, like monogamy or I don't know. I feel like that's a big one for me or whatever, because at a really young age I was told that men are just never going to be like, no matter how beautiful I was, nobody would ever just want to fuck me. And I adopted that, and it wasn't until like I met people where they were like, no bitch, you're enough. I had this one guy literally get upset when I said I wanted to have threesomes. He was like, what? Why would you? And I just met with girls. And he was like, that would break my heart. And I was like, oh my God, they're not all the same, guys.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
So like really, really, really getting clear with yourself about what you want, and, you know, just adding back things that like have gone into the shadows, things that you've given up on because society told you marriage is all, and then divorce and all that bullshit. Like, have faith in your fucking dreams and be willing to stand with conviction in desiring those things, you know, because that's the only way it's gonna come. That's the only way you're gonna attract it. If you keep diddle-daddling and being like, oh, I mean, you know, I kind of want this, but I know that most people, okay, now you're swimming in shallow waters. Now you're just gonna get some bullshit because that's all you are putting out to the universe that you believe exists, you know. Like, have faith in your shit. So yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I brought up in the podcast that I did with Danny, because I was just like, before going on dates and starting your dating life again, ask yourself the question, did I do the work on myself? Am I someone that I would want to date? Or do I have insecurities? Do I have past relationship traumas that I'm still carrying and expecting you to do? And it's like, you are only signing up for more lessons at that point, because if you're not coming with great lessons and you are a better human being from everything you've learned, then what do you expect to attract? You know, you attract what you are. And as much as it sucks to hear that, it's a reality, bruh. Like you said, like, you keep saying those things, you're attracting it. Like I mentioned in the podcast too, it's like you're wearing a t-shirt and you're saying, in my reality, I only see losers and people that cheat on me. And so that's what your reality is going to be. Exactly. Yep. And I'm telling you this from my own personal experience, and that's why I can say it like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I've already dealt with that. And ever since changing my mentality, I'm telling you, I'm getting like a lot of people that are spiritually awakened and then like are going through things, and it's fucking awesome. It's so beautiful to have a cool ass conversation with someone that you can actually like speak to. Another perfect example is this morning I was watching TikTok, and there was this lady that was talking about how she was living in Idaho and she moved to California, and people were like, are you fucking crazy? Usually people are going the opposite way from California to Idaho. And she was like, and you know what? We've been living here in California for a few months now, and I thought we were nice and respectful in Idaho. She's like, they're more respectful and kind here in California. Go figure that. And it's like, well, duh, because it's your reality. Mm-hmm. Don't let the fucking news, don't let society, don't let the government, don't let your fucking family and friends.
That part, your parents.
Make you believe, yes. Don't let people make you believe that their reality is also your reality. Like, no, claim it, motherfuckers. Like, claim your shit. Claim what world you want to live in. Stop accepting shit, because it's not true. You know, like, just like I said, like, this lady was like in shock because everyone was telling her, why would you go to California? They're so rude in California. And oh my God. And she's like, not in my reality. Like, I'm happy here in California. Go believe, like, there's respectful ass people here. And it's like, yeah, that is a perfect proof that you create your reality. You dictate what you want to receive. And so if you're tired of getting the same shit, well, then fucking claim your new reality. Mm-hmm. But also do the work, because that's going to take work too. Because you really got to change your energy inside, because as much as you're trying to speak, oh no, I'm spiritual, I meditate, I do this, I do that, your body is showing the people the real truth about it, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you, but I can see when someone has done work on themselves just by the way they talk, they walk, they stand. I don't know. Like, there's something about us motherfuckers that when we do the work, we are confident, and we show that it's like coming out of our skin. Like, I know who I am. And so that's who you're going to get. And so I am a true believer, and there's proof of it everywhere. Like, you create your reality. What reality are you creating? Change it. You know?
Yeah, and also I want to add, you don't have to be perfectly healed. You don't have to be completely healed. I like to tell my kids, if you're 100% healed, you're dead. Because you have no other fucking reason to be here. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? The soul doesn't give a fuck. We live infinitely, right? So if you're here, you're still learning something. So be okay with learning something. And I think one of the biggest things for me is having a partner that is open and that is always always, because I'm in that state. I'm always trying to evolve. I'm always trying to level up, you know? And I say that with humility, because as far as I've come, I know that I'm still a dipshit, right? Like, you know, when you're like turn 10 and you look back at when you're 4, like, man, I was dumb. I believed in Santa and blah, 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 blah. And then when you turn 15 and you look back when you're 10, you know what I'm saying? You're always going to be like, you know, evolving or whatever. And so for me, it's super important that I attract somebody who is always building themselves up, who is always in a state of, you know, wanting to evolve and wanting to be better and having that open energy and being willing to do the work and being willing to be self-reflective and being willing to hold themselves accountable, you know, because willingness can go a long fucking way. You know, it's like when you get with a dude and they oh, I know how to please a woman. This is the worst, guys. When they're like, I know how to please a woman. I fucked a 30-year-old when I was 16 and she taught me everything I need to know about every woman. Okay, well, I'm another fucking woman, so I got some new tricks for the motherfucking ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you got the manual to her.
Exactly. Don't think for a second just because you mastered one class that you've, you know, mastered life and everything. You know, like, keep an open energy and, you know, you'll attract that. So that's important for me personally. I know some people are, what's the word? Not mutable. When they're just like steady, they just stay who they are. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't built like that.
No. I love learning.
I'm built for expansion. I'm built to teach. I'm built to learn. I'm built for all that shit. So, you know, I definitely want somebody that has energy like that as well.
Yeah, something I heard when you were saying master this, like, master yourself, and you pretty much have mastered everybody around you, because you got to start here. You got to know who you are, what you can bring, how you can do. Like, instead of thinking, oh, I mastered that. No, master you.
Right.
Master you so that you are willing and able to master everything else.
Right.
And another thing too that I think is so fucking beautiful, because I too want the same thing. Oh, go figure. Surprise, surprise, right? I want the same thing in a relationship. Because, and I talked about this on my YouTube channel when I was like, what I've learned about being a partner. What I've learned about being a partner is allowing our partners to grow, to change, and not hold them accountable for it. Like, oh man, you used to do this, now you don't like doing it. I would never do that to my person. I'm like, oh, good. Like, what are you doing now? Awesome. That's so fucking cool. Because at the end of the fucking day, Trina, we're all a bunch of kids in this big ass playground, and we're going to keep changing and learning. And how awesome it is to have your man or your girl be your best friend, and kind of like you guys watching each other grow in this world and change. Like, instead of like holding them, restricting them to just being that one person you met.
Yes.
How much more beautiful could it be to watch this plant grow and change colors? And oh my God, like, that's the experience I'm waiting for. Like, I want my person to really allow me to grow, and I allow him to grow, and we just kind of watch each other, laugh about it, cry about it, you know, just enjoying fucking life, because we're all just kids inside playing in this fucking playground. Like, quit judging me for jumping off the fucking slide and not sliding down it.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to feel what it's like to jump from a high place and not die. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Like, I'm telling you, like, I don't judge anybody anymore, because I'm like, no, man, that is a fucking kid in there. That's a little kid in there that decided, let's see what this does. And I'm like, more power to you. Did you figure it out? Did you figure out what happens when you do that? That's what we're here for.
Right.
So, yeah, no. Love and respect.
That part.
No judgment. But all right, what else? I think that's we talked a lot of good shit, man.
We did, and honestly, I don't think my camera records past an hour and a half, and we're at 122.
Yeah.
So before I lose the flattering camera,
I'm still recording. Yes. But all right, we'll go ahead and end it here. It's always a pleasure having any kind of conversation with you, not just ones that are recorded. And that's why we've always said, like, hey, whenever we talk, let's just fucking hit the record button, man, because it's a different experience when you talk to like-minded people. It really is. It like, I really feel like empowered just by having conversations with you, and that's what I encourage everyone to do. Look for like-minded people, because when you have like-minded energies and information and knowledge, like, man, the shit that comes out of our conversations is ridiculous. So pleasure having you, Miss Trina, and I will go ahead and add all of your links to this so that everyone starts to follow and listen up, because we have a lot to say. But yeah, we'll do this again soon, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you so much
for having me. I love you as always.